As we on the topic of race today, I want to know why a group that calls themselves queens, bad bitches, boss bitches, independent, and yes, I'm referring to black females. Can someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset and so mad at the world? I just want to know. Yes, I'm referring to black females. Can someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset and so mad at the world?
Yes, Tom, that's correct. We have another creator on this app, so desperate for views that they went the lazy and predictable route, ridiculing Black women in order to receive outrage. We are still unsure of when these people will learn to get creative and just better their content like the rest of us, but it is believed that they just lack originality. What's alarming is not this trend that we see of a number of Black men pretending not to hear Black women. It is the like to comment ratio under this user's video. It leaves viewers with this one question: are you not embarrassed?
I'm referring to black females. Can someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset?
Hi, yeah, didn't we go to middle school together? I remember you. You and your homeboys would spend your time ranking all of the Black girls from hottest to least hottest. And guess what order it just happened to so be in? It was from like light-skinned to dark-skinned. I remember one day there was a storm at school and the lights turned off, and maybe not you, but one of your friends were like, "Where did Tasha go?" And she was the darkest skinned girl, and all of the boys laughed. It's neither here nor there. I'm sure you've grown since middle school. It seems like the self-hatred call is calling from the other side of the line that's still in the same house. I don't hear about Asian men shitting on Asian women like this. I don't hear about white men shitting on white women like this. Any other race does not do it like y'all do.
Can someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset?
I kid you not. This morning, my best friend had a baby. I'm so happy for her. I'm elated. I'm over the moon. Having one of the greatest days of my life. I'm sitting in my bed currently, watching Cinderella on my brand new pink iPad. Literally so happy. And so imagine my surprise when I log into Paris Hilton's internet today, and Ja Rule's skid mark, who must reek of the devil's lettuce. I'm guessing Old Spice, 3-in-1 body wash, and unwashed ass cheek, has the audacity to get on the internet talking about Black women. What? I wasn't upset today. I've been happy. I can't argue with you, sir.
Can someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset?
They're not. I don't know why you would think that. Maybe they're upset just at the way you're dressed, but like this is a common thing that we see on social media all the time and on TikTok. I don't understand it. Like, you're Black too. Like, why are you coming at your own? I don't get it. They call themselves queens and bad bitches and all that kind of stuff is because they get shade thrown at them all the time by their own men. And despite all of that bullshit that they have to deal with, they still have the strength to be these bad bitches and be gorgeous and amazing and strong and, you know, all the things that I really admire about them. So does this help? Sometimes independence is a very, very beautiful quality too.
Yes, I'm referring to black females. Can someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset?
Oh, brother. I'm not even going to make a generalized statement about Black men because that would be too easy. And we're not talking about all Black men. We're talking about you today, sir. I gotta hand it to you. You're not as vacuous as you look because you knew that the only way that you could get any type of engagement to that TikTok of yours was to bash and belittle Black women on a random Thursday. It must suck that you can't organically and authentically grow a following without regurgitating the same rhetoric it is against Black women. It really must suck. And who said anything about anybody being upset or mad? We're quite happy over here. But to your point, why wouldn't they be upset and mad whenever people just constantly attack unprovoked? Like, this was unprovoked. And it's under this weird guise of like, why are you guys so mad? You guys are supposed to be so independent and so blah, 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 blah. Why are you concerned? I see you have a wedding ring. Are you married to a Black woman? Go ask her. Why did you have to come and attack everybody? But you know what? I hope you get whatever it is you were looking for out of this. You're probably getting, this is the most engagement you've probably had to that channel. Congratulations to you on that. But I don't think you're going to see any growth because this was stupid.
Why they seem to be the most upset.
Y'all know why. Let's stop asking these gaslighty ass questions. Y'all know why. We've been having this conversation for God knows how long. Why are black women so mad about everything? And they tell you all the time. And guess what, little bro? You don't listen. Y'all always confused all the time, but you never take the time to actually listen to people next to you. Y'all love talking, but don't want to hear nobody. I'm gonna be so for real. If I'm not being listened to after a while, I'm gonna start to get angry. Like, I'm just bewildered by how you guys continue to act like you don't see it. They express it in song, they express it in movies, they express it in video essays, they express it in every way possible, but you guys still let it sail over your head on purpose because you guys know that you're the problem. And if you really are confused, why don't you just talk to one? Y'all seem to know everything, but don't even know that you can talk to a person to understand them. But my point is that y'all know this and just don't care. Which is why my advice to black women instead is to never waste your time on people who don't know your struggle by now.
From the black females. Can someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most?
I know you didn't ask this question in good faith, but I'm going to answer it in good faith nonetheless. In a room full of selfish liars, only one person is forced to tell the truth and then is hated for it. That is the essence of why black women are mad. Think about this for just a second. Who protects them? Who? Who speaks? Who puts their reputation on the line to speak for them? Who? Who? White women? Get the fuck out of here. White women will use black women for their strength, for their courage, for their voice, and for white women's own devices, and then they will discard them. Other women of color will look their nose down on them, as if somehow being born here or born over there, not born in America, and not having to put up with the shit that black women have to put up with makes them better. White men use them almost to demonize them. The welfare queen, baby mama, single motherhood. They are the reasoning and rationale for everything that goes bad in the black community. And then there's us. Not all of us, but a lot of us. We're supposed to be fighting shoulder to shoulder. But what are we doing? What are we doing? We're using them, discarding them, abusing them, killing them, fucking impregnating them, running the fuck out, blaming them for every fucking thing we fucked up. So who protects them? Think about this for just a second. Who is it in every fucking election ends up voting for the conscience of America? Black women. Why? Because they realize they don't have the luxury of voting for their own best interest. They have to vote for the best interest of everyone around them. They do this year after year, election after election, day after day. And what do they get for it? Ridiculed, used, abused, discarded, treated like shit, used as a fucking, to demonize other fucking people. It's a thankless fucking job being a black woman. And maybe if the rest of us sat the fuck down, shut the fuck up and listen. Black women have been trying to tell us this shit for decades. We just have not chose to listen.
And yes, I'm referring, they seem to be the most upset.
I'm not going to lie, even considering this question is proof that you don't really care what we're going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. What we're not going to do is police black women for reacting the way they react to the trauma that we place on them every single day in this world. What we're not going to do is dismiss the fact that there's always been a racial totem pole in this country, and in this country, black women have always been near the bottom, at the bottom of that totem pole. What we're not going to do is ask black women why they're mad at the world when they have to come online and see other black men asking why they're upset about the state of the world that they have to live in. Other black men coming online and saying they're queens and bad bitches, calling them females, derogatory, and just overall just looking at them like they're dispensable. What we're not going to do is look at ourselves as being over black women and therefore operating as oppressors when we're trying to stop being the oppressed. And what we're not going to do is ask black women to be nicer in a world that has no intentions of being kind to them. Thank you.
Why they seem to be the most upset and so mad at the world. I just want to know. I'm just curious.
If I'm 100% honest, because that's what I'm known for, a lot of Black women who call themselves boss chicks are operating out of necessity. They're making all this money, starting all these businesses, working all these jobs because they have to. Because early in life, they made some very poor decisions that now have consequences and long-lasting effects that they don't want to take accountability for. And they don't want to understand that what you do now is going to affect you then. And they would rather blame the men in their life for them not being someone that they weren't, instead of blaming themselves for making poor choices. Now, I know there's some exceptions to the rules, but you will become very angry if you keep making the same mistakes, getting the same results, and not accepting the fact that it's a choice and not a mistake. Then once they get up in age and they realize that the world is not as forgiving as they thought it would be, and these men don't care that I was young and dumb, because now you are paying for the mistakes you made or the choices you made when you were young and dumb, and you want these men to come in and save you from your mistakes. They're angry because they're not. They also thought that these kids were going to grow up and feel that they were going to owe them something because mama held you down and took care of you when nobody else did. But mama was the one that created you with people that they knew weren't going to be there for you. And they didn't do the best they could. They did what they wanted to. And now these women are angry that their children have grown up and left them in the results of their own choices. You thought your kids were going to save you, but your kids didn't. Moral of the story, a lot of Black women are upset because they chose the life that they chose. And when they wanted to change their mind later on in life, it was too late. And now they're suffering the consequences. And they're big mad about it. Instead of accepting, this is the hand you dealt yourself, and this is what you got to live with. That's why they mad.
Why they seem to be the most upset and so mad at the world.
Man, woman, make baby. Man leave to go get milk, never come back. Woman raise family by herself. Son see mom do everything, think mom superhero. Daughter see man do nothing, think men useless. Woman work 2 jobs, make sure kid no die of starvation. Women carry family, women become strong. But women tired of being strong all the time. Black man tell system don't hurt us. Black women tell system don't hurt men. Women tell men don't hurt us. Men buy all microphones, make podcasts, tell women choose better. Black men say, I lead community. We say, community in shambles. Black men say, you know me, baby. Black women become strong to live. Black men say, you too hard. In Colombia, they treat me like Usher. Boy grow up to be absent like dad. Girl grow up to be independent like mom. Women raise community. Men kick feet up, say community suck. So women ask help. And men say, hold on, I spin block real quick. And you know, sometimes you just got to break it down like that for them.
They seem to be the most upset and so mad at the world.
Imagine being the sole reason why a species even exists and being the most unprotected. Imagine carrying somebody for 9 months and damn near die giving birth to them, for them to refer to you just as your biological organs. Imagine a large amount of the men in your community making it a safe space for other people of different communities to talk bad on you. I scrolled down your page for about 10 seconds and already saw you're one of those Black TikTokers who just puts down the Black community for their own fame. You're a weirdo. It's for you and literally anyone else who does this shit on TikTok, because there's a handful of y'all. Go help raise up these Black boys. Go help you raise up these Black girls. Stop adding more negative shit and giving white people a safe space to talk about Black people. They'll be out here trying to kiki with people who would lynch you if it was still legal. Actually, even though it is illegal, they still do lynch Black people. But that's another story for another day. I don't believe in beating children, but your mom should have whooped your ass.
Someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset.
For starters, it's because men keep calling them females instead of women. Hey, y'all. Let's see. We're talking about a demographic of women that have been told that they were the most unattractive, at least throughout my entire childhood in the 70s. How during my childhood, good girls were lighter skinned, darker skinned girls were trouble. Throughout U.S. history, dark skinned Black women have never had the option to not work. They are the only demographic in this country that were forced into the workforce. I mean, I'm doing this before coffee. Y'all got to give me some credit here. I'm trying to give you this response because I feel like this is work that Black women shouldn't have to do, right? There is a reading list. I guess my question to you is, how bad do you want to know? Like, you will go to the bookstore bad, or just kind of Google it bad? Zora Neale Hurston. Read books by Zora Neale Hurston. Their eyes were watching God. That is the first book. Start with that book. And if you really want answers, get back to me and there's more books. Or if this is just kind of a complaint, then go to the next window, because Black women have been hearing it for too long. Black women, not females, women, not girls, women, okay?
I want to know why a group that calls themselves queens, bad bitches, boss bitches, independent, and yes, I'm referring to Black females. Can someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset and so mad at the world?
Black women have two controlling narratives in America: the strong Black woman and the angry Black woman. The myth of the angry Black woman characterizes Black women as illogical, hostile, ill-tempered, and ignorant without provocation. The negative characteristics of the angry Black woman developed in response to external stressors and historical factors. But what people don't understand about these negative corresponding stereotypes is that they affect Black women intraphysically, interpersonally, and they are very likely to affect the efficacy of mental health treatment. When Black women express anger like any other race of women, we are seen as threatening with fury, not radical, disconnected from reason, and devoid from any intellectual underpinnings. It's like our anger has to pass the smell test. This angry Black woman stereotype limits how Black women can convincingly and forcefully advocate for issues that matter to them without being seen as being too aggressive or too angry. Let's be honest though, was rage ever a privilege for Black women? Usually beginning in childhood, Black females undergo a multi-systematic process of socialization into the ideology of the strong Black woman. Ideas about strength had to be transmitted through the family dynamic or through intimate relationships. Retrospectively, Trench generation tells us that Black women had to have a different outlook on protectionism in order to protect their family. Why is any of this important? Because in the context of white supremacist patriarchy, Black women are seen as being too strong, which means they can't be seen as being vulnerable. This construction of white supremacy paints Black women as the bearer of masculine essence and not the endurer of an oppressive system that needs to be dismantled. So, man, when you bash Black women and say, I don't date them, they're too angry, they're too aggressive, you're outright dismissing the origins of their anger and aggression and not understanding them as defense mechanisms to an oppressive system, the same system that was built off your Black mothers' backs.
If you're an African American mother, your risks of dying in childbirth are 3 to 4 times higher than if you're white. African American women are less believed
For the Black females, can someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset?
You mad at the world, sis? You mad at the world, sis? You mad at the world? Who are you referring to? It's obvious that you stated it, but I'm sorry, the Black women that you be around, the Black women that you see, the Black women that you follow fit those characteristics. But baby, all of us, no. Because life's good over here. Happy as can be. Happy as a bumblebee. No, but for real, is everything okay? Are you okay? We just be minding our business.
Can someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset? And
Someone tagged me in this video and said that this man had a question. I don't find a question in this video. I just find a black man furthering the narrative that black women are angry. That's all I see. Because if this man really wanted to know why black women are how they are, I'm assuming based on his proximity to black women, such as his mother, his aunt, sisters, or cousins, that he could just ask them. But he doesn't really care to understand. So instead of answering the question, I'm going to turn it back on him and ask him to tell me, why are men so angry? Why are they the leaders in violent crimes statistically? Why do they fill our penitentiaries because of violent crimes? Take women by force. Why are men the number one consumers of trafficked children? Why are they the head of every war? And as soon as that man answers those questions for me, I think that our answers will become self-explanatory. But in the meantime, we don't got to answer the shit.
someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset and so mad at the world?
So I tried to do this video in 60 seconds, but there's just simply not enough time. I believe that 2023 is the year projection for black men. As of late, they've been literally projecting all their anger and insecurities onto us. And it's been bouncing off like we're rubber and they're glue. I think the real issue is that black men are realizing that the black woman does not need them. Like, we've been saying it, but now I think they're realizing it. So instead of stepping their dick up, they are bashing us to shame us into accepting their bullshit. Sorry, sir, we're not. And also, we're not upset at the world or angry at the world. We just don't fuck with y'all. And y'all are not the world. Understand that. Y'all are not the world. We're having a great time here. We're getting our nails done. We're getting our hair done. We're getting lashes. We're buying clothes, shoes, bags, taking major trips, all without the help of a black man. I'd be angry too if I were you guys. And I would probably try to put it onto you so that I wouldn't feel that anguish anymore. But at the end of the day, all you gotta do is step your shit up. And I bet you won't see angry women around you. I think it's your fault. Wow, why the women that you're around are angry. Because most of us, I'm almost willing to say all, but most of us are doing just fine.
Seem to be the most upset and so mad.
Some of y'all on this app are literally the slave master's dream. Like, look up the Willie Lynch speech. I'll start there. But while the stitches and duets are incredibly funny, I'm gonna come from a different space. And if what I'm about to say triggers you, go to a quiet place and figure out what the fuck it is about you that has you so upset. But black men are incredibly absent right now. Like, y'all aren't paying attention. Y'all aren't focusing. This nation needs leaders, and black women are stepping up because y'all aren't. Y'all are getting on this fucking app to slander and humiliate black women unprovoked. And I'm really thinking of Oluwatoyin Salau and how she fought until her last breath for black men, for black people to be able to survive traffic stops, just to be brutally unalived by another black man. Y'all are so absent right now. Black women are primarily talking about Michael Corey Jenkins and Eddie Terrell Parker. Where the fuck are y'all? What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Black folks are under attack, and y'all are getting on this app and making complete fools of yourselves. Yeah. And wanna lead somebody. Y'all are not leaders right now. Y'all really need to go to therapy and figure out why the fuck y'all hate black women so much. All right? Because this shit ain't it.
Black females. Can someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset and so?
Maybe because dudes like you want to refer to them as females instead of just like women. That might be one of the reasons. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you though. I don't think you actually give a shit, because the way you're phrasing it is you're making it seem like only black women are the maddest people on the whole planet, which isn't true. But I will say they have to deal with more bullshit than anyone else does, especially from members of their own race, aka black men. They have to deal with constant disrespect from black men and people outside of the race disrespecting them too. They have to deal with so many more microaggressions than we do. They deal with a lot of shit, but I still wouldn't call them angry. They're not just mad for the sake of being mad. But again, I don't think you really, again, give a shit about this. You just want to pretend that you do. And going by your like to comment ratio, I'm sure I'm pretty correct in that assumption.
Why they seem to be the most upset.
I don't know if this is a good faith question or not. But think about it. America itself has always given Black people a reason to be angry. Since the beginning, there have always been issues here. And sometimes anger in response to those issues is understandable. But here's another thing. You have too many dudes on podcasts saying really dumb things about Black women and women in general. Some men attack women while accepting zero responsibility for themselves. We have a complete breakdown of communication, which has led to this really stupid and manufactured gender war that people openly and willingly participate in. There's a ridiculous amount of anti-Blackness out here on social media, and an unfortunate amount of it targets Black women. Single mothers are blamed for every problem in America when it's the system that continuously knocks over the dominoes. And then you have men that don't accept their role and responsibility in creating a single mother. Everybody wants to claim victory when it's successful. We also have to claim some of the blame when it's a failure. Now, the next question is, what can we do to work on the issues that are contributing to some of this anger?
Someone enlighten me why they seem to be the most upset.
So I was going to make a lighthearted joke about this, but at this point, it's not even funny anymore. Like, the amount of Black men that have disdain for Black women is very troubling. There's actually a term for this. It's called misogynoir, or misogynoir if you're proper. But it's the disdain or contempt for Black women. Let's say my guy who posted that video isn't serious and he's just trolling. Like, why at our expense? Why must you group us all in one category? Like, I understand. I'm sorry if your mom was angry or the women in your lives were angry. That has nothing to do with us. Take that up with the people that you truly have a problem with. And maybe that is all Black women, but it's either one or two things. You're either intimidated by us or you hate us. But either way, leave us out of your shit. Like, maybe you need to take that conversation up with your mommy. Maybe that's who you have the real issue with. If so, I suggest you have that conversation because, yeah, no. And another thing, you're so focused on Black women, focus on yourself. Like, love yourself. Obviously, you don't. Otherwise, you wouldn't have posted that self-sabotaging ass video. And I really hope you do not have a daughter. I do not. And if you do, all that energy you're pouring into worrying about why Black women are angry, take that energy and use it and love on your child. Nurture her, care for her, love her so that she doesn't become another angry Black woman.